Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Path of Exile. It's the fall of Oriath, and it's been well over a week since I've played. And with the pace that I do these videos and the chance that I've gotten to play, I figure people have probably completed all the endgame in this freaking league by now. And here I am, still just level 57, and starting out Act 8, just the start of Act 8 over here. Gonna roam around a little bit. Whoa, hello, Loot Monkey. We are gonna go and chase you down, my friend. Boom. Kill everyone. Come over here. I did run around one of the Act 7 zones for 5 minutes just to try to warm up and remind myself how the character is supposed to play. I did not mean to pick up this. Did get a helmet drop, and it turned out to be an upgrade, actually. It had more life, more armor, and a little bit of cold resist to replace a helmet that was basically didn't have a whole lot going on. It had a lot of miscellaneous traits that I didn't particularly care about. It was a 4-link. I mean, it had a couple of decent things. It had a little bit of life, for example. But it was not a particularly notable helmet, so it was a nice little pickup. You were immune to damage. I don't know what my armor situation is like. I don't think I'm going to pick up... what I'm looking for is probably mostly something with a lot of links. The fact that it's dim here is making me think it's a lower level base type. I mean, it's got a higher item level, but base level 53. A little bit of quality. I mean, let's check on the off chance that it's insane. It actually, here's what I'd suggest. I would suggest with additional physical damage reduction. This is clearly an update. An upgrade. Clearly. The problem is the link situation. Although, because I really do need a 4-link for my weapons at least. But I could always move my weapon stuff into my helm. I could just, I mean, I don't know what I would necessarily re-coordinate for some of this stuff. But I mean, it's got more armor, more life. It's got resist, which my base piece does not. And then the 2% additional physical damage reduction is pretty good. Is that something I can blast? Interesting. I didn't realize those guys left totems. I have no idea if I'm going anywhere vaguely correct on the map. I suspect not, since it looks like I'm supposed to be going northwest here, based on that. But we'll see. We'll see what's what. We'll just, I don't know, hug a wall or something that's going to be okay. And I was going to say, with this wall being here, it would not surprise me to find out that there was actually another route here. I guess just walk along the wall, then we're on top of the wall, then we backtrack over. I see. Okay, that worked out. Wackadoo? Oh, no wackadoo. Generic strongbox. So I've been looking around and reading some feedback and things like that and trying to see... see, it might be worth... No, that's an evasion base, so it'll be hard to get it to be the right color. Just to see, especially in terms of cast when damage taken and auras, to see what other people might do with something similar to this. And I'm seeing a lot of draw towards a more defensive kind of aura build. In particular, seeing a lot of things, people running Arctic armor and Grace. Grace is an evasion aura, for example, just as a defensive thing. Whereas, in a sense, well, I mean, not in a sense, I guess, in every single way. My two auras are offensive, right? We've got Warlord's Mark, which curses. I mean, it does give a little bit of life steal, which I guess is good. And it does generate endurance charges, which I guess is defensive. But then there's Hatred, which is more damage. And Hatred, if I was going to replace anything, it could be Hatred. Now, Hatred's at 50% mana reserve. Arctic armor is 25%. Now, I don't know if there's something else that's a 25% mana reserve. If there is, and I guess I'll go shopping, there must be a list of things based on what their mana reserve is. If there is, I could run, like, basically 3 auras at once, right? May as well level you up. So I kind of like the idea. I think Warlord's Mark, Blasphemy is quite cool. It's quite fun. I mean, maybe things have to change for the end game. That's another big question mark is, you know, there's certain things that might feel great now, and then, like, Hatred, right? It's like, oh, more damage, I'm killing stuff faster. And then you get to, like, the late game content, and you're just getting, like, destroyed by everything. So maybe we swap out... I could probably... Grace. If I look that up, I'm betting it's probably a 50% reserve. Yeah, 50% on Grace. But we might find ourselves in a situation where we're going to go ahead and replace Hatred with Grace for defensive perks. Hello, Assassin. Flavor text all the things. Anyone over here? Just looking for quest things. Does this go somewhere? I think it does. Right, this is actually the way forward, because of the toxic conduit. That's right. Find the way through the sewers, and Dodre is probably down here as well. So let's work on that. I still don't know how to fix this, like, this text box. Some people have probably told you multiple times in the comments, but have not actually spotted it on my quick little perusals. Hey, Elrion! Are in the mood for some smithing? Think I might be. Pick that up for a chromatic. Which one is it? Defend the relic. Okay, good. That's fine. I don't think it's timed. I think we have to just clear X number of waves on this one. But as long as we don't have to, like, suck down any souls, I'm pretty pleased. Bump. Bump. What's my weapon at? Yeah, base level 45, item level 45. It's not the most up-to-date weapon, but it's got that base physical damage and percentage physical damage thing. So that goes a long way, but it would be lovely to find another one. I'm not going to, like, stress about it right now. I'm not going to go out of my way to start crafting it, because it's still going to have to get replaced at some point. Because something now would still not be that high level, but it's, like, probably the single most important thing to leveling in general. Like, both speed, but also survival. I mean, the faster you can kill something, the better. We've got a little bit of lifesteal as well with our Warlord's Aura, right? It gives us lifesteal, mana steal? Yeah. Well, leech, I should say. Now, we don't have anything that increases leech amount or leech speed. Although we're not that far off from something that would. And I mean, here's the thing. If we're using Warlord's Mark and we're doing the leech thing... I'm getting murdered. Okay, I think I'm okay. It might be worth picking up Vitality Void, which has built-in leech, plus just faster rate, which is good. And then there's also the Spirit Void, built-in mana leech. I don't know. The thing is, if I wanted to, I could get rid of Warlord's Mark. What's the reserve on it right now? 35%. I could get rid of Warlord's Mark, and by grabbing those. The question is, what would that cost me in terms of my passive skill build? Still something I think that's very up in the air. I could see arguments for either one. And again, I think, well, one thing I like about Warlord's Mark is, in addition to the leech, is of course the endurance charge. We have nothing currently to let us generate endurance charges. If we were killing things with our offhand, then we would, but we don't. Deadly walled-off ducts. Alright. How do I... Oh, it's like around the corner. It's weird, because there's a bunch of shit there. It looked like I could attack. I mean, one of those things was my totem, but even without that, I guess it was just the Vol side area visual effects. Okay, that extra life is pretty notable. Oh, I did do a swap of one of my flasks as well, so now I have finally a fire, like, putting outing flask, which actually took a shocking amount of rerolls to get quite right, which is kind of annoying. I used a fair number of jewelers as well to get the 4-link on the helmet. Not the linking one, not the fusing. When I did finally get my 4 sockets on there, they were already linked for me. I think. I might be wrong. I may have had to roll a couple of fusings, but it did not take very long. That is a lot of lightning attacks, but I think he's down. There you go. Yeah, you guys got hit by the spirit, so there's a little bit more room for stuff. We'll take a look at you, Jewel. I think we're okay. Vol Power Siphon. All right. Now, speaking of Vol abilities, I think there's a Vol Grace, isn't there? And that might not be too bad. I can't remember. You can't link Vol abilities to cast when damage taken, right? Which is too bad. I have no idea how to progress through this zone. It's, like, it's weird because it's both super linear and super non-linear. You know what I mean? I know what I mean. Shut up. Da 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 da. Baff. Baff you some more. Like, it's a lot of straight lines, but it's not obvious which straight line to choose. And then once you're on it for a while. I mean, they might all link up. Lingering aberrations. Okay, well, it looks like we need a little bit of totem help on this one. Still wondering if I should link the totem to something. Towering. Oh. So we go from lingering to towering. And I mean, I probably should. I could throw a faster attack on the totem. I guess one of the questions is, how much damage does the totem do? Well, some is the answer. Some. I don't know if it's enough to make it, like, worthwhile linking with things. So, skill point. Well, we were, I think, still picking up some stuff over here. I think I was going through here. Yep, block chance, and then we were going to pick up Heart of Oak. What's our actual defense numbers for that? So, physical damage reduction, 41%. Only a 14% chance to evade. Chance to block attacks, 21%. And at some point, we'll get block chance get applied to spells, too, which is kind of nifty. So that was a fun little circle. I guess we're supposed to go that way, actually. I could probably have identified that sooner if I was paying attention, instead of talking about my build. On the other hand, you know, more XP. It's all good. I apologize a bit if it's a bit laggy in the back. Hell, what are you? Oh, you're Life Sprig? Or is that the name of the wand? I think I'm getting confused between two different items here. Springleaf! Springleaf. Yeah, close enough. Yeah, that's a pretty low-level item. It's not a bad thing to just throw on, you know, early on, but it's certainly not a terribly impressive item. But it's something else we can sell if we get that prophecy of, like, sell 60 uniques, get another unique that you also won't care about. Dodre's Cesspool. Now, if I remember correctly, this is like... Okay, it's not the fight yet. But it's really weird. There's, like, a cauldron, and... they fill with different colors. What? There's some weird-ass stuff I remember from the beta, which was very cool. Oh, hello. Exile. Rogue Exile. A Rouge Exile. I guess I'll pick up that flask. Or not. I want to pick it up, though, because it's superior quality. They're all two-handed items. There we go. Give to me the flask. Thank you. Da-da-da-da. So there might be a little bit of lag on the screen, and if there is, I apologize. I'm like rendering a million videos in the background, and I'm on a bit of a time crunch because this is right after my trip to Gamescom, and I just have no choice but to sort of do it all at once. I'm hoping it doesn't impact the video any more than it's impacting my visuals, and it occasionally leads to a little bit of visual weirdness here. And yeah, it's not... You can see the FPS dance around a lot, a lot, because I do render using my video card, so we might get some slight odd performance, but it's okay. We're not playing hardcore, right? Oh my god, that's a lot of damage. It's fine. What could possibly go wrong? Who needs all our FPS? Not me. Frame rates are for suckers. Pick up all that stuff and go. The one shot of groups is just so freaking satisfying. And there's one thing that Sunder does very well.
I believe in traveling light.
So we didn't do that group because they were like blue quality or whatever. But that's what Sunder does quite well, because everyone you hit explodes. So like tightly clustered groups just tend to go pop. Of course, it's pretty standard for most builds in Poe that they deal well with groups. And part of it is because you have to, right? Both in terms of like survivability and just like clearing content quickly, leveling up quickly, getting lots of loot. You have to be able to kill groups fast. And the standard mobs are also so squishy compared to bosses that there's just that sort of, you know, completely different balance. But that's part of what makes all these types of games so enjoyable. You want to be able to just like plow through the little guys and feel like an incredible badass all the time. This is a little bit hairy, and I think the lack of frame rate is definitely being a thing that's being notable right there. I should take a look at that axe, just in case. So, let's take a little trip to town. Yeah, no point in wearing that. I still gotta look for an offhand that gives me, like, crazy-ass stat stuff. Let's just vendor. So, I'll have to decide what to do with that armor. I'm not gonna deal with it right now. That's not shabby. But I don't want to go through the trouble of socking it, so. What is this thing giving me? I think it was like the attack speed, which may affect both sides. I think that might have been it. Increased damage with bleeding is quite nice. I don't do any of that. You could definitely do, I've seen like Sunder Gladiator builds, right? Similar to mine, except they're focused on bleeding. So I mean, they'd end up feeling completely different. Even though it's the same base ascension and the same base skill, it would end up feeling considerably different in practice, which is always like a neat thing with this game. Hello, more chance to block while dual wielding. That might make an appearance or something. We'll have to add it, give it a second stat at some point. Let me go and I'll put it in the so-called leveling tab over here. Take a look at it later on. Go back to the cesspool, the pool of cess, and whack. I don't remember, do I have any vol orbs? I don't usually use them because, like, oh, it's our first map! Because there's always, I think it's our first map. There's always a chance that things go weird. Oh my god, I'm being obliterated by something. But, you know, I should just, like, start using that shit, because why not, right? I always end these leagues with a ton of currency I never use. And it's like, come on, just go and do it. I know, you're supposed to save it and things, but it's like the thing I always do. You just save it forever, and then you never actually, get to have fun. You gotta end your RPGs with like 30,000 potions in your pocket. Did I drop something useful? Some more shards here. Sure, what the hell. Baff. Baff. You know, what level is this War Axe? This is one-handed. Item level, oh, it's base level 45, which I think is the same thing I'm using. Yeah, okay, never mind. What I should do is look up the name of axes. Yes, more blasphemy support for more range on that. Axe. Do they have the list of axes? There we go. So if we look at level, I am level 58 now. That's right. So the next one would be Siege Axe, which is 59, or Karyu Axe. These are one-handed. At 57. In terms of the Karyu Axe, oh, the Siege Axe is quite a bit faster at 1.5 attacks per second. I don't know if it matters for me if I have a slower and more, you know, damaging per hit weapon, or faster and less damaging per hit weapon. You know, if you have two, let's assume they have exactly the same DPS, which is almost certainly not going to be the case. I don't know what this chart represents. That is what? The strength requirement. Okay, DPS is that column. I know I'm being murdered, so it's always good to, like, tab out when you're in the middle of combat. Yeah, so the Karyu Axe and the Siege Axe actually both have about the same DPS, at about 81. But one is faster and one is slower. So, you know, there's pros and cons for both. I would suspect, I think this is where Dodre is, I would suspect that in practice, the faster weapon is going to be substantially more damaging, because we will likely be looking for a modifier that adds flat physical damage, right? Even hatred... No, hatred is percentage, but anything that adds flat physical damage, or flat anything, is going to have so much more DPS on a faster weapon. So even though the Siege Axe is a higher base level, what we want is the... No, I'm right. We want the Siege Axe. That's the faster. 1.5 attacks per second instead of 1.3. Because I think that's attack speed... Attacks per second, yeah. So we want higher numbers for that. So look for a Siege Axe. Although it's level 59, so we probably won't see it yet. Anyway, enough of that. I guess we do have to open a portal down here. And we're like, I think we can hit the valve to purge things, but every time we do, things might get slightly worse. I think I remember something like that. I've never read about the fight. It was just like, this is the sort of thing I started to kind of grok, because this area is going to fill with something. Okay, well, we're doing good damage here, and things haven't gotten... Oh, right, no, I'm getting debuffs. That's what it is. I can see them now, all spiraling around me, and I think valving will reset that. Although, I'm at 10, and it looks like it's staying at 10. What's this? I'm dealing less damage. Okay. And indeed, I am not dealing much damage. On the other hand, I'm not dying. It's 7% less, so I'm dealing 70% less damage right now. I don't know, I'm tempted to, like, just continue to go very slowly this way. Whoa! Okay. Let's go ahead and reset this fight. Did I click it? I thought I did. Okay, there we go. So now you get a different color, but different set of debuffs starting to accumulate. Ow, ow, ow! Well, she died. So did I, so I lost some XP. Carnal Boots. Take that. Concentrated effect, can't get the next level. Don't have the int. No, will not be wearing that. So that's back to the cesspool. This is the sewer outlet. Oh yeah, the water was pouring here. Unlock the waypoint. We're gonna pop back to town because there's some rewards waiting for me there. Looking good. No, we didn't do any of you. You got rings for me. Well, let's take a look. I'm good on cold, so I want fire and lightning is what I want. Fire and lightning ring. Or the unset ring. But no, I don't really need the extra socket like that. Another 10% to all elemental resist. Now that's interesting. So in total, this is 62% total elemental resist. This one's only 30. This one's also only 30. Now these two have life. And this has a tiny bit of life, but not much. Still, I think the resistance is going to be worth it. I'll replace the fire and cold one with one with also fire. There you go. Considerably more resistances. I'm one shy of being maxed out on cold. So we did lose some life, which I'm not super keen on, but I think is probably worthwhile. I'm going to put it there where I can keep an eye on it in case I want it back. We're going to go and sell. Man, it's not a bad set of gloves, but I think it's fine to just toss. Okay. Now, we do have a map tab, but I was going to say, I don't think it's got any actual maps in it. Toss all this. Anyone else I'm supposed to talk to in town? Okay. Mini quests given to us. So, I think I'm just going to bop back here and pick a direction. Looks like there's two different exits to deal with out of here. We'll just hit one and then the other. Oh yeah, I died, so I gotta reset my spells. Man, those guys are tough. Something vigor. Yeah. The K over there. Now, I've understood that do Anglophones pronounce this as the key? And to that I say, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's the K. What? What's wrong with you? What? But it looks like, I don't know if all Anglos, or is it an American thing? The key, is that what the Florida Keys are? I don't know. I always thought the Keys were just like, with the K. Because was it like more like the island group or something like that? But apparently people pronounce that K, or key. I don't know. Now, part of the reason, admittedly, I pronounce it K is because that's the French pronunciation, but I know I've heard that plenty of times in English as well, so I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think it's probably one of those regional differences. And that means there's no wrong way for all the exclamation I was doing, but I will never pronounce it key. But I think I've come to an awareness because of Path of Exile here, and because of people commenting on it on like Reddit or whatever, I've come to an awareness that it looks like Anglos probably pronounce it key, or at least some. And so there you go. My world vision has been shattered and altered here. Boom. Of course, plenty of people, talk about granaries, when that's clearly wrong. Again, it's not wrong, it's regional differences. But I'm more right. Let's open this. Boom. And that's what's important in life. It's not to say that other people are wrong, it's just to be satisfied internally that you're more right. And that's okay. What do we got here? More faster attack for the whirling. Higher level warlords. Yes, absolutely. which keeps giving us more and more area. Which I can't complain about the area at this point, because we can actually use these guys to sort of get a bit of a sense of range. I think that's not bad. It's distorted a little bit because of the height difference, but like it's pretty reliable that we're going to be able to hit someone, and it feels like when we are fighting, we're keeping our charges up pretty well. What the hell's going on over here? Is this even connected to the rest, or do you have to use boats as a bridge? In which case, what kind of sense does that make in terms of construction? I realize, like, even here, like, well, I guess that's probably more of a bent bridge. You know, kind of legit. But, like, why do you have these solid areas of brick and stone, and then you have to, like, walk across a boat to get from one to the other? Like, you built them like little islands? That doesn't make any sense. Maybe they used to have bridges everywhere, like wooden bridges. So you just sink some, like, stone, you know, sort of static platforms, but it's too expensive to make everything out of stone. So then you just make some wooden bridges where you can to save resources. I guess it's kind of legit. We have an arena? I don't remember this. Oh!
Exile.
Yeah. Right, I have to find the Ankh of Eternity first. That's true. It's weird. There's like a few things where it feels like you're going in kind of an odd order. You know, which is not something that you would feel like in previous versions of Path of Exile. You'd feel like, oh, I've reached so many things in the wrong order. Although, you know what? It might mostly be due to the fact that I've played it a fair bit before. And so I'm used to, like, thinking of things of, I gotta do stuff in a certain order, so that I don't end up places incorrectly. And, I mean, I think Act 2 might be a pretty good example of that. Well, Act 3, Act 4, yeah, you know what? There were a few things that you could find and like, oh, I don't have the thingy for this yet. And I just stopped doing it in that order because I was used to it. Where'd the loot monkey go? Come here, loot monkey! Die, die, die. Not at a very good angle to like maximize my killing here, but there we go. I didn't want to reposition and lose some attacks on this guy. We seem to be in a pretty good setup for killing him pretty reliably, because we do have a fairly good damage, and not the worst animation speed. I remember, like, early on in the Sunder, it was kind of a bit of a pain in the ass to, like, you'd start your swing, and then you would move, and you'd be like, you bastard. Are you? Yeah, yeah. Good. Let's bop, bop, bop. Make some more dudes! I want to bop some dudes! Bop, 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 bop. Kill these totems, because I think they're kind of annoying and bad. Also annoying that they don't go away when you kill the dude. See, that's like a boat that was transformed into a bridge. It definitely looks like a boat that's been attached. So makeshift bridges. I don't know. Yeah, War Chief, we can level you up. I'll just skip the trunk, sure. Kill the rare. Excellent. Nice cluster of dudes here. Render the what? What's doing that? Oh, I think that was someone casting Ballista. What is this? The Grain Gate. Alright. Let's do it. Waypoint. Excellent. So, having done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bop back to the Toxic Conduits, and I'm going to go to the opposite direction. The Grand Promenade. What? No enemies around? There we go. I was feeling, I don't know, very ignored. Like the game stopped liking me. What are you guys? Spectral Legionnaires. Alright. Die, die, die. What's leveling up here? Fortify. Sure. That's the thing that's linked to this. Baff. Nice. Alright, thank you for lining up. That was very convenient of you. I appreciate it very much. I have to walk up to this guy and baff him in the face. Although if they're not unique, those things do go away after a second, so it's not the most annoying. It's those snake guys that have those orbs. There's like a unique one that's in like some of the Vol side areas. And like they're so fast, it's hard to stay within their circle. And they do a fair amount of damage, if I recall, too. But mostly it's the constant moving. So you can't stay in the side of the circle, so you never get to kill him. Depending on what build you're using. Sure, let's do some more of that. Oh, I gotta do my dailies. Which I haven't been doing in all this time either, because I haven't been here. This is just defend. Yeah, good. I like the generic defense. This one's timed. Oh, okay. So as long as I don't die and the relic doesn't die. So one thing to note is I still have the mana flask on my bar, but I have not been using it. I think there's like a couple of times maybe where I sort of used it preemptively just to make sure my DPS wouldn't be interrupted when I was just smacking, but it looks like, I don't know if it's literally true. Next time we're in an area with no enemies, we'll see if we can actually continuously Sunder or not. And of course, the rate at which actually I can Sunder is going to depend if I'm hitting enemies or not, and I'm getting my mana leech. So there's that too. So I might not be able to continually do if I miss it, but as long as I'm hitting. Nearly there. Die, die. And as long as I'm not hitting too many people that are out of range of my, my thing. So, let's see. Oh, yep. So you can see if I'm just standing here, it's not going continuously. But I think as long as I'm hitting people. Well, I guess I could tell, because if I ever run out of mana, my guy moves forward a little bit. Now, that was a bad example, because I was actually just putting my mouse out of range of my actual Sunder. But like this, my guy would move forward. Yeah, so it's happening if I'm not hitting. I'm getting distracted because of these skeletons, but turns out these skeletons are my friend. So, I feel like overall our mana situation's okay. I need someone to, like, stand there and not do damage. I need, like a dummy. You know? Like a sparring dummy. With, like, 1 billion hit points. So you're still doing, like, damage to it, so it's still triggering your stuff. Something like that. I don't know. It's looking... Yeah. As long as I'm hitting, I'm sort of trying to glance at my mana here. It looks like I stay pretty full, so... This is definitely working out. Although, again, if I grab those talents... Because this is, what, 2%? 2% life leech. So the talent, if I grabbed it, would be 0.8% life leech. I wouldn't need to have the thing cursed, which might be nice for a few more situations, but it's probably not enough life leech. I think I need the 2% from the Warlord's Mark, so... I don't know. It's cool. Let's do it. Let's do this thing we've already been doing. Okay, unique monster dead. Let's do that. I'm gonna... Excellent. We gotta put a cut in here. Look at that. I guess we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna keep smacking the hell out of all these guys. Dragon Scale Doublet is evasion armor. Yeah, and the thing is, it's a kind of a color thing. Like, I'm gonna need a fair amount of red things. Multi-attack, is it green? In which case, I guess a green socket would do for that. I think it is. I can't remember. It could be red. But there's something to be said about, like, the color, like, the type of armor, because all the strength/armor type armors are more likely to have red slots. Now, the dual is probably going to be okay, but I am going to need one blue socket, no matter what, as well. I don't know. I guess I could have checked that one out. Still, for now, we are going to go down here. More physical damage. Well, increased physical damage when dual wielding. And yeah, we'll move up to the Heart of Oak. What do we pick up over here? Yeah, attack speed as well, which is nice. Level up hatred, of course, we'll do that. So yes, we're going to put a cut in here. And when we come back, we'll just keep cleaning this area. Thanks for watching, folks. See you next time.